several shots were fired, at least 3, and 2 officers were struck. A St. Louis County officer was struck in the shoulder, and a Webster Groves police officer was struck in the face.
And we welcome you into the third and final hour of America's Forum with Miranda Kahn, J.D. Hayworth. Again, we just heard St. Louis County Police Chief John Belmar on the condition of 2 officers shot in Ferguson, Missouri earlier this morning. We continue to follow that story here.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, both officers are now listed to be in serious condition. Police are searching for the shooter or shooters, and fortunately may have some leads, we hope.
We continue to monitor that, and it is the source of a lot of conversation. Joining us now to go in depth on this and some other issues, Sue Trombino, the founder of Women Impacting the Nation. Sue, I just have to ask you at the outset, as we welcome you here to the program, do you think these officers were targeted simply because they were in uniform?
Well, J.D., it sure seems that way in light of our political pundits and a lot of the media, and just I think there's just a lot of lawlessness and lack of accountability, and so I believe so, in my humble opinion.
So we also want to talk to you about another story that's been making headlines recently. I'm sure you've heard about it. Hillary's emails. What did you think of her response the other day during her news conference?
Well, just because you say something does not mean it's so. And so...
Can you elaborate? Do you mean her saying what's personal and what's for office use only?
Well, if you are the Secretary of State, I believe that, and we're paying for it, we are paying for her salary, we're paying for everything, then she should have accountability, and there's lack of accountability, I think, here.
And when we listened to what she had to say the other day, was she just asking us all to, quote, trust her?
It seems like that, but I don't believe you can trust. You have to be very careful of if somebody keeps telling a non-truth all the time, then I think that's a red flag.
That's a very PC way of saying it, non-truth.
Well, it's a civil way.
It's a very civil way.
And from time to time, I've been accused during my days in Congress of maybe spelling things out in a little more a rough-hewn and unvarnished way, as we see Mrs. Clinton making use of her personal communications device right there. It's very interesting, Sue. Howard Dean, the trained physician, the former governor of Vermont, the former chairman of the Democratic National Committee, weighed in on this, and his language was somewhat unvarnished. Let's take a listen and get your reaction. We're getting that ready, I hear, right now, and it's going to be here in the meantime.
In the meantime, you know, I want to ask you, Sue, as a woman, you know, Hillary has been, there's no question, there are a lot of women that are huge fans of Hillary. Democrats are banking on her to get that woman vote. Do you think this will hurt her chances at all if she finally declares that she is going to be running to become the next president? What are you hearing other women say?
Well, in my circles, I believe that you have to have somebody, if you're going to be President of the United States, you have to have somebody that you can trust. And again, just because you say something does not mean it's so, and you can keep repeating a lie, and unfortunately, we have become a nation of non-thinkers, and Karl Marx said a nation of non-thinkers is easily led. So we need to be educated, do your due diligence, and as far as I'm concerned, there's just a red flag with her. Every time, if you just really think and look what she says, hear what she says, it's just totally off the cuff. And we're smarter than that. And I believe that, I don't know how anybody could put her in a position that is such a high position in our country.
And Sue, we're now in position to show us all and listen to what Howard Dean had to say. Contrary to popular opinion, his rhetoric, while somewhat incendiary, did not melt down our tape machine. But let's listen now to former Governor Howard Dean.
It's very clear this is just more Benghazi, more Republican right-wing nut job stuff, and going after all these imaginary scandals. I think it's ridiculous, and it would really be great to move on to some serious issues here.
So Howard Dean says we have to move on. 30 seconds for your quick reaction to former Governor Dean.
Well, I believe that for Americans, one being an ambassador, is not moving on. We need to get to the bottom of this, and these are 4 families' lives that have been shattered, and if that is something that he believes is nonsensical or just we have to move on, then that's not the party that we need to follow.
And Sue Trombino, we've talked some issues with you. When we come back, we want to talk more about your organization, Women Impacting the Nation.
I like the sound of that.
It does sound good, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
And I will tell you, Hillary Clinton has had an impact, but we heard what Sue had to say about her. We'll find out more specifically about the organization as we continue our conversation with Sue Trombino next here on America's Forum. Stay with us. Back now on America's Forum to continue the conversation with Sue Trombino, the founder of the group Women Impacting the Nation. And the obvious
title.
Great
nice
title.
Great title.
And it says what you want to do, have impact as women. But the notion for the organization, Sue, how did you come up with it?
Well, when we show up, we win. That's the main part. We're not showing up. But we educate, our mission statement really, JD, is we educate and equip women and men, but with knowledge of God's truth about our faith, our family, and our freedoms, and then we help support those who take a stand for the Judeo-Christian values upon which our country was founded. And so what I do really at our Faith Family Freedom Center that we just opened here in Boca, what I do is I stir the pot and I get you to think, as we have become a nation of non-thinkers. And so I want people to bring back the founding of how our country was when we had, when right was right and wrong was wrong, and we had a moral compass.
Right.
We need to get educated on that. We've lost that.
And speaking of getting educated, if we can we show that website just real quickly? We were showing your website. So how can we get, there it is. How can we get educated? By going to your website?
We had it just mere seconds
minutes ago. So you got to think quickly.
Okay, well, it's womenimpactingthenation.org.
There it is.
There it is. Women Impacting the Nation, like all one word, womenimpactingthenation.org. And there is your picture as the founder of the organization. Sue Trombino, obviously there are so many issues we confront.
Yes.
We will be calling on you in the days ahead because as you attempt to engage and influence the public debate, we think the good place to do that is right here on America's Forum with your organization, Women Impacting Our Nation.
Thank you for having me on. I hope to have everybody come to our site, come down to our center, and we are growing around the country, and we're really impacting with what we call WIN Talks. And we get you educated with different books, and again, when we show up, we win, with fact and truth versus emotion and conjecture.
And, you know, I'm a little slow on the uptake, but now I see the acronym, Women Impacting the Nation, WIN!
Yes, when we show up, we win.
Got it. That's great.
Yes,
well, we do appreciate
raise the bar, RTB.
We count ourselves as winners for having you here today, Sue Trombino.
Add that list of acronyms to memorize, but yeah.
That's very good.
See, we're thinking right now.
Yes, you are.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having
me. We
me.
really appreciate it, Sue.